4 holy flames? How is that possible? Looking at the sky above, where a fire-like vortex seemed to open, continuous surges of world-shattering flames flowed out from its opening. The aura emanating from them was so intense it could burn everything to ashes. The shock in Han Jianghai's heart lingered, unable to subside. The rarity of the holy flame in the Great Thousand Worlds was comparable only to the few divine artifacts. Yet, in Han Jianghai's memory, ordinary people could only consume one of these flames. Taking in more than one would likely lead to their body exploding from the overwhelming power. Even the strongest among the Soul Hall would only dare consume a single holy flame. A person like Xiao Yan, who had 4 holy flames at once, was completely unheard of in Han Jianghai's recollection. What shocked him even more was something else. Cultivation method. At that moment, a trace of ecstatic joy appeared in Han Jianghai's previously stunned expression. Though he had been defeated, learning Xiao Yan's secret meant that in time, he could come back for revenge. However, the powerful figures of the Soul Hall had hidden the fact that Xiao Yan possessed multiple holy flames. Boom! The scorching holy flame waves spread out, instantly obliterating the entire royal city within a radius of several dozen miles, reducing it to a vast, even wasteland. Cough, cough, cough. As the heart-racing destructive wave continued to spread, the power of the 10,000 demons' flower became illusory and was ultimately engulfed by the searing fire, erased from existence. In an instant, the 10,000 souls' flower shattered. Han Jianghai's aura, like withered flowers and broken willows, quickly withered away. After several violent coughs, the black mist surrounding him was shattered by the soul of the holy flame. His nearly transparent soul stood weakly in midair, pale-faced. His eyes filled with a cold, murderous intent. This place is no longer safe. I should take care of business first. I never expected to fall to this guy. The illusory soul body trembled slightly and began to show signs of trying to escape. Trying to run? Xiao Yan, who had just used the Buddha's Fury reincarnation, was also quite weak, but at that moment, Han Jianghai's aura was even weaker than his. Xiao Yan, if you kill me, the Soul Hall will definitely mark you as their mortal enemy. It will be a fight to the death. You better think carefully. Han Jianghai, feeling the true wave of death from Xiao Yan's scarlet eyes, roared as he tried to flee, attempting to intimidate Xiao Yan with the power of the Soul Hall. Shoo! Just as Han Jianghai was about to escape, an amber-colored flame suddenly appeared beside him, effortlessly binding him to the spot. Are you kidding me? As for the Soul Hall, while I wouldn't call them mortal enemies, I'll deal with them sooner or later, Xiao Yan said weakly, stepping out of the void, his palm holding a drop of amber liquid that pulsed violently, symbolizing Han Jianghai's impending death. No. As the source of the holy flame appeared in Xiao Yan's hand, Han Jianghai's already fragile soul body began to tremble violently. Please, don't kill me. I can tell you everything you want to know. Fear filled Han Jianghai's eyes as he pleaded like a captive. Poof! Without hesitation, Xiao Yan released the amber liquid, which wrapped around Han Jianghai. The once mighty Soul Hall powerhouse was utterly destroyed in Xiao Yan's hands. This all happened in the blink of an eye, with no screams of agony to be heard. Han Jianghai, a peak figure at the early 7-star Docian, had fallen. Such a waste. The holy flame subflame is extinguished too. If it had survived, I could have traced the holy flame's origin, Xiao Yan muttered as he watched Han Jianghai's complete fall. Crack! As the last remnants of Han Jianghai were burned to ash by the holy flame's origin, a simple stone box slowly appeared in Xiao Yan's line of sight. The stone box exuded an ancient and simple aura, about the size of an arm, with no visible markings. It appeared as ordinary as any other object. This is... Xiao Yan's gaze sharpened, staring at the box with confusion. This object could remain completely unaffected even by the scorching power of the holy flame's origin. This was the newly born holy flame, fused with 4 colors of flame, strong enough to rank among the top 15. Combined with what the Soul Hall powerhouse had just mentioned, it seemed Han Jianghai carried something capable of subduing emperors. Could this be it? Never mind, I'll just take it for now. I need to head to the Emperor's palace, but I have a feeling that this election was planned by both Abyss Chief and the Emperor. But what could they be aiming for? As he spoke, Xiao Yan tucked the stone box away and began heading towards the Imperial palace. However, the majestic royal city, once vibrant, had now turned to dust after his battle. A few faint flames flickered, devouring the last remnants of the eerie atmosphere, leaving a desolate scene. As for the mysterious stone box in Xiao Yan's hand, its origin was shrouded in mystery. On the other side, as Xiao Yan's battle came to an end, the war in the sky finally began. Elders, if you lay down your weapons and submit to me, once I have conquered the Tianxing continent, you will all be my greatest contributors. Lin Fengya sneered coldly, his hands clasped behind his back as he stepped on a black coffin, exuding an air of dominance. The dark, icy aura filled his body. Bold words. When I capture you and bring you to the Emperor's palace, the Emperor himself will decide your fate. Elder Tiger charged forward, his spear pointing sharply at Lin Fengya. If you refuse to listen, then die. Attack. Once we eliminate the 10 elders, the entire royal family will belong to us. Lin Fengya's eyes gleamed with madness as he looked down at the Emperor's soul, wrapped in evil energy. Soon, the Emperor would submit completely, and everything would be under his control. Though Lin Yunshu possessed the power of the stars, how could one person reverse the tide of such a battle? Lin Feng? He commanded the strongest fighting force on the Tianxing continent, but so what? A mere warrior could not stand against him. Did he really believe the Holy Sea's angels would help him willingly? Using the demon fruit as a bargaining chip, the angels were bound to assist him. Lin Feng's fall was only a matter of time. Now, it was all just a matter of time. I've long heard that the wood element on Tianxing continent is exceptionally powerful. Today, let me meet the elders of Tianxing continent. A sinister man atop a dragon corpse spoke, his words laced with dark, eerie energy. Boom! A thunderous roar echoed from above the four-dragon coffin seal as pitch-black clouds and lightning swirled, amplifying the presence of Soul Wuji to its peak. Perfected 7-star Do Xian? Elder Tiger's expression darkened as he watched Soul Wuji's display of power, accompanied by shadows atop the other 3 dragon corpses. A perfected 7-star Do Xian, a late-stage 7-star Do Xian, and 2 early-stage 7-star Do Xian. Such power would make even the 10 elders struggle. The 10 elders were all in the early to late stage of 7-star Do Xian. Only 5 had surpassed the early stage, and just 3 had reached the late stage. The true battle for the heavens and earth had begun. Attack! Lin Fengya commanded, and the 4 dragon corpses trembled, then scattered, controlled by the figures above them, shooting toward the 10 elders. These 3 late-stage, 7-star Do Xian are mine, Soul Wuji sneered, guiding his dragon corpse towards the 3 strongest of the 10 elders. Elder Tiger, Elder Wolf, and Elder Eagle, all late-stage 7-star Do Xian. What now? The 3 elders, clearly led by Elder Tiger, inquired. Attack! Elder Tiger's gaze hardened, his eyes turning towards the black coffin and the sinister dark clouds overhead, hesitating. There seemed to be something far more terrifying within. Heavenly Soul Palm. Soul Wuji showed no mercy. He had chosen the 3 late-stage, 7-star Do Xian because he coveted their souls. A single palm strike sent a dreadful howl of wind, followed by a massive, dark hand blocking the sky, thrusting forward with earth-shaking force, threatening to collapse space itself. What kind of power is this from the Soul Hall? Elder Tiger thought in surprise, his skin prickling as the dazzling green aura around him formed a thick defensive wall over 100 meters wide in front of the 3. Boom, boom, boom. The sinister hand descended, and in an instant, Soul Wuji and the dragon corpse appeared before the 3 elders. Soul Wuji's eyes gleamed with cold light, and his palms rose again, swirling with black mist. The mist condensed into a massive energy cage that struck toward them. This is bad. The 3 elders tried to defend, but realized too late that their wood element barrier was easily obliterated. Soul Wuji's relentless assault seemed designed to end the battle quickly. Form the formation. In a split second, Elder Tiger's expression turned severe, his commanding voice filled with authority. Would pattern star array. At the same time, the other two elders exchanged a glance and raised their hands. With a loud roar, the attack from Soul Wuji collided with the green energy aura, only to be bounced back as if it had struck cotton. This demon must be permanently sealed here. Elder Tiger led the charge, stepping forward with great force. His body was enveloped by countless green life energies, resembling a chosen one favored by the forest goddess. Kill! The other two elders' eyes flickered rapidly, and in an instant, their powers surged like Elder Tigers. A fierce, murderous gleam flashed in their eyes as the three formed a triangular formation, surrounding Soul Wuji. They should still need a little more time. I'll entertain you for now. Besides, while I'm at it, I might as well inspect your souls. That way, I can construct that thing, SSSHH. Soul Wuji stood atop the dragon corpse. Though the dragon had fallen, its residual power had reinforced him. Now, Soul Wuji's strength had faintly reached its limits, perfected 7-star Do Xian, and he was just one step away from becoming an 8-star Do Xian. If he wanted to kill the three elders, it would require no effort at all. In's soul-devouring essence. Demonic hound, come forth. As the green energy around the three elders surged, gradually filling the space, an overwhelming force began to emanate from this domain. Soul Wuji, however, looked on with disdain and let out a cold laugh. Just as his sneer echoed, the ground beneath him, wrapped in the domain, suddenly shook violently. The array-encased ground cracked open, and massive rifts, at least 100 feet wide, spread across the area. Woo! At the same time, eerie, blood-curdling wails echoed from deep within the rift, accompanied by the overpowering stench of blood that poured out continuously from the cracks. The sudden turn of events startled the three elders, who had been focused on activating their joint sealing technique. It was as if the rift harbored some evil entity, and after a brief hesitation, they realized the power gap between them and Soul Wuji was too vast. If they failed to seal him, the entire continent could be blood-washed by Soul Wuji alone. This guy sought far more than just fame and fortune. He craved countless lives, the souls of the deceased. Everyone knew the Wolf Clan's ambitions in the Soul Hall. That's the demonic hound? Isn't it a creature from the underworld? Soul Hall, how could this be? At that moment, deep within the rift, a pair of vertical eyes glared down like a predator at the top of the food chain, exuding an intensely oppressive force. My pet, enjoy your dinner. Soul Wuji, controlling the dragon corpse, floated easily at the top of the domain. His savage face twisted into a maniacal grin as his deafening roar reverberated through the entire array. All woo! The creature from the rift began to stir, as though following an order. A loud, chilling howl filled the air with an overwhelming bloodlust. 10,000 Wood Soul Palace? Seeing Soul Wuji's frenzied actions and the slow-moving demonic hound emerging from the rift, the three elders quickly combined their powers, activating their sealing Do skill. Although it wasn't the perfect form of the sealing technique, they knew if they delayed any further, they would surely die. The aura from the demonic hound was even stronger than Soul Wuji's. SSSHH. As the sealing technique was completed, a magnificent palace rose above the three elders' heads. The palace was adorned with carvings of green energy, resembling a divine temple. The sealing aura surrounding it was powerful enough to completely suppress Soul Wuji. Be sealed. The three elders clenched their hands tightly and directed the sealing force at Soul Wuji. Instantly, the entire domain fell silent as the grand palace shot through the sky like a rainbow. Plop! An odd sound rang out. Just as the power of the sealing palace reached Soul Wuji, his form suddenly became ethereal. The palace, brimming with sealing force, silently passed through his body as if he were merely an illusion. It felt as though Soul Wuji was nothing more than a mirage. It's over. The sealing force slammed into the edge of the domain, causing the entire area to begin to shatter. Self-destruct? Swallow it. Seeing the determination in the eyes of the three elders, Soul Wuji waved his hand, instantly suppressing all their power. At that moment, the demonic hound emerged from the rift, turned, and rushed toward the three elders with a devastating aura, tearing apart their bodies, their blood, and even their souls. This soul is still useful. At this moment, the three elders at the late stage of 7-star Do Xian were completely obliterated. Such powerful beings, as strong as they were like weak women without the strength to lift a chicken in the hands of Soul Wuji. It seemed that the conspiracy of the Soul Hall was nearing its success. Boom! Dark clouds in the sky flickered, and towering lightning pillars, each several hundred feet tall, descended with a deafening roar. Did Elder Tiger and the others win? The other 7 elders were slightly startled as they looked at the battlefield, surrounded by black smoke. A solemn aura slowly stepped forward. As Soul Wuji trapped the 3 strongest elders of the 7-star Do Xian late stage, the battles elsewhere had become equally fierce and indecisive. Sizzle! 3 elders have fallen. Why don't you surrender? A powerful voice echoed from within the black smoke. How is this possible? The 7 elders froze in disbelief as they looked at Soul Wuji, who rode atop the dragon corpse with an arrogant demeanor. Their gazes turned cold as they murmured. Just moments ago, the 3 elders had used the power of their formation domains to imprison Soul Wuji, attempting to suppress and annihilate him. However, with time passing, the domains of the 3 elders had collapsed, leaving no trace of their presence. What is Soul Wuji really doing? The other 3 powerhouses standing atop the dragon corpses felt a chill in their hearts. They were well aware of the immense power the 3 elders of the late 7-star Do Xian held. Yet now they had completely perished at Soul Wuji's hands. For the sake of the prince's grand plan, it's your turn next. With a flick of his gaze, Soul Wuji looked toward the dark clouds and the Imperial palace in the distance. His eyes gleamed as thick black mist surrounded him, churning violently. Waves of ominous winds and agonizing shrieks spread outward from his body. Whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, a bizarre black hole formed at Soul Wuji's core. It was like Pandora's box, a bottomless pit designed to contain the most evil of demons, constantly spewing forth terrifying power, unsettling the minds of all present. Form an alliance. The 7 elders saw the black hole and released their Do Qi, their bodies tensing, but despite their attacks, nothing could harm the black hole. Retreat. The other 3 strongmen atop the dragon corpses steered their beasts back to the edge of the black coffin. Elder Sculptor. The 7 elders unleashed all their strength, but when their strikes hit the black hole, it was as if they had struck cotton. Soon, a pitch-black chain covered with countless anguished voices suddenly wrapped around one of the elders. Sizzle! As the chain coiled around Elder Sculptor, his face turned pale, his aura rapidly fading like a punctured balloon. This guy is devouring my power, even my life force. Elder Sculptor's eyes widened in horror. It's over. You will become my nourishment. Ha ha ha. At this moment, Soul Wuji laughed madly, like a man possessed by ambition. Dark chains continued to emerge from the black hole, shooting toward the 7 elders like venomous snakes from all angles. Once the chains struck, their energy would instantly weaken, and through the link with the black hole, pure power would flow into it. Prince, this guy seems to be acting strangely. Also, there is still no news from the Imperial Palace. The 3 powerhouses who had just returned to the black coffin saw Soul Wuji slaughtering the elders with ease, and Lin Wangshu narrowed his eyes. Don't worry. Everything is under control. If Soul Wuji steps out of my grasp, he will only be walking down a path to his own death. As he spoke, a fruit resembling red agate quietly appeared in Lin Fengya's hand. This was his greatest reliance. The fruit appeared insignificant, but the aura and power it contained could overshadow the heavens. Oddly enough, the fruit seemed to be surrounded by a faint, unclear seal. Ah! In the sky, amidst flashes of lightning, Soul Wuji stood eerily still like an evil god. Chains continuously shot out, and one by one, the 7 elders were captured, their agonized cries filling the air. Now, it's your turn. Soul Wuji sneered as he looked at the elders' miserable state. 3 chains, inscribed with countless eerie ghostly runes, shot out of the black hole, tearing through the void as they surged toward the three powerhouses atop the dragon corpses. Even with the support of the dragon corpses, their faces changed drastically upon seeing the level of power involved. Soul Wuji, have you gone mad? Lin Wangshu's eyes froze as he gazed at the fierce onslaught of attacks. There's no need to hide anything anymore. In our soul hall's eyes, you are nothing but ants. You should be fortunate to die at my hands. Soon, you will become the offerings for the ritual. Then die for me. The moment the words left his mouth, Soul Wuji transformed into the executioner controlling the black hole, and countless sinister and evil powers began to darken the entire sky. Prince. The three of them were shocked at the sight, their eyes burning with anxiety as they looked at Lin Fengya. Against Soul Wuji, they were already as good as dead. Ha, ha, how ironic. At this moment, Lin Fengya gently raised his hand, and the crystal-clear demon fruit appeared in his palm. Immediately, the entire sky was filled with an extreme stillness. Demon fruit? At that moment, Soul Wuji's maniacal grin instantly froze, his body trembling as the black hole's dark aura swirled. It seemed that this tiny demon fruit contained a power even Soul Wuji feared. Crack! Suddenly, a sound like that of breaking crystals echoed. To his surprise, the demon fruit, which had already ripened, was only half filled with a special ink-green liquid. Ah! Gamma! You bastard! Seeing this, Lin Fengya's pupils constricted, his voice a furious roar as he looked at the half-formed fruit, which resembled a palm-sized piece of agate. Half of it was hollow, and only the other half was filled with the special ink-green liquid. When Xiao Yan infiltrated the underground palace, Lin Fengya had forced Gamma to hand over the remaining 2 demon fruits. After using soul power, he finally managed to extract the location of one. Following Gamma's soul memory, Lin Fengya found the fruit. Though only one remained, after careful inspection, Lin Fengya realized this was the mature one. He no longer cared to argue with Gamma, sending him directly to the Emperor's palace, intending to have him buried with the Emperor. However, what he didn't expect was that this bastard Gamma had used an illusion to deceive him regarding the demon fruit. 2 demon fruits, one half-ripe, the other fully mature. But the power contained within them was worlds apart. Lin Fengya, it seems you've committed too many evil deeds for even heaven to help you now. Swish. At that moment, Soul Wuji laughed once more, his voice booming as his figure and the black hole surged into the dark clouds above. Slowly, an evil cloud, as hot and fiery as a hellish furnace, began to form. In that instant, the world lost its color, and countless sinister and evil auras flooded the heavenly abyss mountain range. The oppressive atmosphere felt just like the depths of hell, cold, dark, and terrifying. Meanwhile, Xiao Yan was still on his way to the Emperor's palace. Inside the palace, a large figure stood at the entrance. My lord, all of Prince Lin Fengya's subordinates have been wiped out, and all the guards now belong to us. However, it seems that many powerful members from the Soul Hall are heading this way. From the numbers, we are definitely no match for them. Your thoughts, my lord? At the moment, dozens of elite guards quickly appeared outside the palace. At the forefront was Lin Feng, his eyes locked on the inner depths of the palace, burning with determination. Beside him stood a figure cloaked in black, radiating an aura of extreme terror, as if he were a god of war, ignoring the world's affairs and looking down on all beneath him. Buy me some time. Up ahead is the Emperor's palace. The Emperor has been tortured to the brink of death by that beast Lin Fengya. Once you make your move, our plan will succeed. Please, my lord. Lin Feng spoke, slightly bending in respect toward the black-robed figure beside him. Even though the Emperor was gravely ill, with his perfected 7-star Do Xian power, only the Holy Sea's experts could hope to eliminate him. Lin Feng didn't even know the exact identity of the black-robed figure, only that he served the patrolling angel Mei Kar, one of her most elite subordinates. This individual's power was on par with a 7-star Do Xian, and because the patrolling angel couldn't be seen in public, she had sent this envoy to handle the matter for her. For Lin Feng, it didn't matter. Once the emperor died, with the remaining half of the emperor's military power and the help of his enormous army and the Holy See, the entire Tianxing continent would be within his grasp. He knew he'd have to give the Holy See plenty of resources, but when compared to the vast Tianxing continent, Lin Feng gritted his teeth and accepted the cost. Let's go, Prince. I hope you haven't forgotten the agreement with our patrolling angel. A cold snort came from beneath the black robe, the voice light and almost mocking, as if looking at Lin Feng like a doomed man. The palace was empty, but an overwhelming pressure filled the air, one that could only be sensed by the keen light attribute feedback from the Holy See's experts. Of course not. The Emperor's sleeping palace is situated halfway up the mountainside, its overall structure resembling a flawless jade infused with crystalline silver, exuding an air of extreme nobility and luxury. Inside the palace, there are 4 large halls: the Emperor's library, training grounds, tea house, and guest reception hall. These 4 palaces stand in opposition to each other, with the sleeping palace, a grand building surrounded by them, at the very center. The atmosphere inside the sleeping palace is tranquil and elegant. A serene quietness pervades the entire place, devoid of any vitality. The palace stands at the heart of the estate, encircled by dozens of staircases that ascend upwards. All around, the scene is golden and resplendent, with imposing stone beasts guarding the 4 corners. "Father, I've come to see you," Lin Feng said, as he and the powerful members of the Holy See walked up the stairs. The sleeping palace appeared empty, as if no one was guarding it. Clearly, the numerous guards had been secretly bribed by Lin Feng. Now, the vast palace seemed like a place deserted of life. "Lord, we've caught a suspicious person." Just as Lin Feng and his companions reached the bottom of the stairs, a group of elite guards appeared, bringing with them a frail woman. "Lin Yunshu?" Lin Feng exclaimed in surprise. "You're still alive?" After a brief pause, seeing the many wounds on Lin Yunshu's body, Lin Feng asked in confusion. The combined strength of Han Jianghai and Lin Fengya had been terrifying at the altar. That level of power had failed to kill the princess. There must be something extraordinary about her. Lin Feng. Lin Yunshu's breath was erratic, and her face twisted with anger. "You've colluded with outsiders and plotted against father. You're no better than a beast." Lin Feng glanced at her coldly, as if not at all moved. "A king's victory and a criminal's defeat are but the law of the land. Sister, it's better to save your energy." Without wasting further time on Lin Yunshu, Lin Feng turned his attention back to his true goal, the emperor. As long as he obtained the imperial seal, half of the military forces would be under his command. With that, it would be easy to defeat anyone. As for Lin Fengya, he had always been an ambitious madman, and such people would inevitably fall to his hands. Whoosh! As soon as Lin Feng spoke, a massive burst of energy shot from within the palace, rippling out like waves of power from the heart of the sleeping palace. "What is this?" A slight tremor passed through the black-robed figure accompanying the Holy See members, whose face seemed to freeze in fear at the energy emanating from within. "What's happening?" one of the Holy See warriors asked. "You. Open the door." Lin Feng, feeling a chill in his heart, kicked one of the guards forward and rushed toward the palace's gate. Fenger, you and Fengya truly disappoint me," a deep voice echoed from within, as the guard Lin Feng had kicked was about to crash into the palace's solid wall. A vast energy burst forth like a dragon awakening from slumber. Before the words were even finished, a lean, middle-aged man with a fierce glint in his eyes slowly supported an elderly man, frail and bloodless, walking out from the palace. The elderly man appeared as if he were on the brink of death. "Father! Father!" Lin Feng gasped, looking at the emperor's form with renewed hope. "You're all right?" His heart raced with relief as he continued, "It's a good thing you're fine. Lin Fengya betrayed you and tried to seize control of the entire Tianxing continent. I've come to save you." At that moment, looking at the emperor's lifelike form, Lin Feng's blood boiled with emotion. The imperial pressure from the emperor, who was once the number 1 among the 7-star Do Xian in the early stages, was overwhelming. Lin Feng couldn't help but kneel in reverence. No one knew better than Lin Feng the Emperor's power. The Emperor, in his early 7-star Douxian stage, had even wiped out those at the peak of the 7-star Douxian. With his leadership, he had quelled all resistance on the Tianxing continent. The title of Emperor had been truly earned. So it was all for your own gain, sacrificing others to achieve your own goals. The Emperor of the Tianxing continent isn't so different from others after all. The Holy Sea warrior remarked as he looked at Lin Feng's fearful expression, his gaze lingering on the frail form of the elderly emperor. After a brief moment, he spoke again. "That's the Abyss Chief," the warrior said. Though not entirely clear, it was evident that the Abyss Chief's vitality and strength were rapidly fading. "Your Majesty, I take my leave." The elderly man beside the emperor began to wither away, turning into dust as he vanished into the air. "Abyss Chief, you will always be a hero of our Tianxing continent. You've come to meddle in the affairs of Tianxing continent, and now you must pay the price with blood," the emperor said coldly, his eyes locked on the black-robed figure, his voice carrying an overwhelming killing intent. 8-star Douxian? Looking at the powerful aura radiating from the emperor, it was clear that such strength could not be attributed to mere illness. The strength exuding from him was far beyond what a sickly person could possess. The Holy See experts couldn't help but murmur, "This level of power. Even with my mere 7-star Douxian strength, I couldn't win against this. Not even if my master, the patrolling angel, intervened." At this thought, a slender hand beneath the black robe clenched tightly. It seemed that a fierce battle was inevitable. Among the 3 protectors under the patrolling angel, Shika was at the mid-7-star Douxian level. "Wait, it's not 8-star, it's half-step 8-star. Although this is troublesome, there's still a glimmer of hope," Shika muttered, her sharp senses detecting something. Boom, boom, boom. The emperor showed no hesitation, raising his hand and pointing at Shika. In that instant, countless auras in the Imperial palace knelt in unison, as if welcoming their true king's return. The overwhelming power and energy seemed to transcend the heavens themselves, enough to look down upon the world. Poof! In the blink of an eye, 100-foot-long, piercing energy column shot forward like a sharp dagger, its chilling light surging as it roared toward Shika. Glug! Shika's black robe fluttered down, revealing a face etched with a grave expression. Her slender figure radiated a blinding white light, like the scorching sun, illuminating the earth. "Father, are you all right?" After landing a successful strike, the emperor used the energy ripple from his attack to bring Lin Yunshu back. Trembling, Lin Yunshu slightly opened her mouth. "Little Shu, I've failed you these years. This is the military token. Take it and use it to quell the disaster sweeping across the Tianxing continent and establish your reign as queen," the emperor said gently, his eyes full of affection as a unique jade token suddenly appeared in his palm. The emperor's military token held the power to command half of the entire Tianxing continent's forces stationed outside Tianxing City. "But father," Lin Yunshu hesitated. "I will take care of the important matters. The rest is up to you," the emperor said softly. "Understood." As soon as the words left her mouth, Lin Yunshu, with the military token in hand, made her way toward her army, leaving behind Lin Feng and the Holy See expert Shika. "You old fool. I risked my life for you, and in the end, you passed the throne to a little brat?" In that moment, Lin Feng's expression shifted from fear to madness. "You are too bloodthirsty, unfit to be a ruler. You are no better than a beast, not even worthy of being called a king. Today, I will personally clean up your mess," the emperor spoke coldly, and with that, a fierce battle broke out. Meanwhile, in an elegant boudoir deep within the Linfeng mountain range, patrolling angel Mei Kar sat as if a noble, her slender fingers constantly forming mysterious marks in the air. These marks swiftly entered the void, only to return a moment later, as if searching for something. Knock, knock, knock. A knock at the door broke the silence. "Come in," Mei Kar's voice was calm. "Master, Lin Fengya's plan has failed. Abyss Chief used a forbidden sacrificial technique to help the Emperor restore his vitality. In fact, the Emperor's power has reached the half-step 8-star Do Xian level. A female guard, One of the Holy See experts summoned by the patrolling angel walked in. She was Sol, a late-stage 7-star Docian. Any news of Jiama? Meikar asked, seemingly indifferent to the report. Jiama was brought to the Emperor's palace by Lin Fengya's subordinates, attempting to accompany him in death. But midway, they were intercepted. It said the person who stopped them is named Jixian. Now, the Soul Hall experts are sweeping through the entire mountain range, trying to capture them. Our Holy See experts are also heading towards the target, Sol reported cautiously. Take me there. Meikar's eyes gleamed with a sharp light. But Master, the disaster on the Tianxing continent has already begun. A chaotic battle is underway. Lin Feng and Shika were attacked by the Emperor in the palace. Their lives are uncertain. On the horizon, the four-dragon coffin seal has been unleashed. The elders, along with Soul Wuji and Lin Fengya, are engaged in battle. Several elite Soul Hall experts are annihilating the vassal races of the Tianyuan continent with overwhelming force, trying to gather soul power. As servants of the gods, shouldn't we suppress such turmoil? Sol tried to reason. Sol, remember this. Our Holy See is not just a group of executors. We are the ones who set the rules. My only goal has always been Jiama. Once I obtain the demon fruit, I will use the power of forbidden techniques to erase this world. As for the reason, just make something up. Meikar said, her figure cloaked in a flowing white robe, concealing her features. Understood, Master. Sol replied, and slowly, she led Meikar toward a certain destination. Elsewhere, Xiao Yan's senses were alert. The auras from those guys. They seem to belong to the Soul Hall and the Holy See? What exactly is going on? Xiao Yan had just left the altar of destruction and was preparing to head toward the Imperial palace. However, halfway there, he spotted some figures with suspicious movements. Dressed in white robes, which symbolized the supreme status of the Holy See, and radiating the characteristic light attribute power of Holy See experts, Xiao Yan couldn't mistake them. As for the Soul Hall experts, a mere glance was enough for him to identify them. The princess should be fine. It's better to head over there and take a look first, Xiao Yan muttered as he glanced at the direction of the Imperial palace. Considering the strange events involving the Abyss Chief earlier, he shook his head. My lord, Jiama has been intercepted by Jixian. At the edge of the heavenly Abyss mountain range, on the farthest edge of the Imperial city, near the massive chasm, dozens of Soul Hall experts stood. According to the Master's orders, we must capture him alive. No matter what, Jiama cannot die. The leading Soul Hall expert coldly snorted. Heh, the Soul Hall's Hunsha, I've heard of you for a long time. Just as they were about to take action, 5 white-robed Holy See experts suddenly emerged from the void. Elite members of the patrolling angels team, the White Dove Guard, mid-stage of 7-star Docian. When Soul Sha saw that one of the newcomers was a mid-stage, 7-star Docian expert, his brows furrowed. Master Hun Wuji's subordinates included 3 formidable individuals, Hun Jianghai, Hun Sha, and Hun Mingyu, with strengths ranging from early stage to mid-stage and late stage of 7-star Docian. As for the patrolling angel, Meikar, this time, he had summoned 3 7-star Docian attendants. In an instant, the battle here became intense and evenly matched. Where is Jixian? Xiao Yan paid no attention to the conflict between the two factions. Using the cover of ghostly energy, he moved like a shadow across the cliffside.